Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, the Worthy One, the Supremely Enlightened One. Sadhu, Sadhu, Sadhu. Meritorious Dhamma friends and dear children, today you are gathered here to learn the wonderful teachings taught by a Buddha. And this program is very special for you all. This program is specially conducted for you all to learn the Buddha's teachings, recollecting and venerating a great person, that is Venerable Arahant Mahaninda. Arahant Mahaninda Mahathera visited Sri Lanka and gave the heritage, gave the gift of Dhamma for us, taught the Buddha's teachings for us. The King Emperor Dharmashoka's son, Prince Mahinda, after learning the Buddha's teachings, he gave up the royal comfort and the kingship and became a monk and became Arahant and memorized the Buddha's teachings, and with the permission of his father, with the blessings of most venerable Moggali Puttatissa Mahathera, he visited, Arahant Mahaninda visited Sri Lanka and taught the wonderful teachings. So, for the upcoming Poya Day, you all are so fortunate to learn the Buddha's teachings and spend the Poya Day in a meaningful way. So, dear children, first of all, before we continue this program, before we learn Dhamma, let's go refuge to Buddha Dhamma Sangha and observe 5 precepts and learn some wonderful teachings taught by our Buddha. Sadhu, Sadhu, Sadhu. Say together with me. Buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Saṅghāṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Dutiyampi Buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Dutiyampi Dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Dutiyampi Saṅghāṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Tatiyampi Buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Tatiyampi Dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Tatiyampi Saṅghāṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Sadhu, Sadhu, Sadhu. Children, now you have to observe 5 precepts. So, now say after me. I will recite the 5 precepts, so you can say after me. So, you have to undertake these 5 rules, protect them, venerating the Buddha, venerating the Dhamma, and by venerating the Sangha. And also we should venerate Arahant Mahaninda. We are learning about precepts. We are going refuge to Buddha Dhamma Sangha. We were able to do all these wholesome things because of Arahant Mahaninda. If Arahant Mahaninda did not bring Buddhism to Sri Lanka, we wouldn't talk any of these things today. We will be just spending time by doing ordinary things that leads to sadness in life. From time to time we might gain some happiness, but all these things ends with sadness, sorrow, and crying. Our life ends with death, children. So before our life ends with death, it's our responsibility to do wholesome deeds and gain the ultimate protection to our lives. So as lay disciples of the Buddha, we should keep the five precepts. We should follow, we should protect the five precepts. So to protect the five precepts, say after me, say loudly, don't murmur, don't just whisper, say loudly, don't worry, we are taking 5 good undertaking rules. We are taking the responsibility to undertake, we are taking the responsibility to follow 5 precepts. So do it nicely, recite it loudly, and do it wholeheartedly, not for the sake of recitation. Okay, now say after me. I observe the precept of abstaining from killing beings. I observe the precept of abstaining from stealing. I observe the precept of abstaining from sexual misconduct. I observe the precept of abstaining from telling lies. I observe the precept of abstaining from taking intoxicating drinks and drugs. I follow these precepts for happiness in this life, for rebirth in heaven, and to realize the Four Noble Truths. In this Gautama Buddha's dispensation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo Buddhaya. Meritorious children, dear teachers, today we are here to recall ourselves, to recall and learn something that is extremely valuable for our life, that will come for our next life, something that could help you in next life, and also something that could come behind you like a shadow that never leaves you. Just imagine the nature of a shadow. It does not leave us. And also, we are learning and practicing something that will welcome you when you are coming back from a foreign country, back to your home country. Just imagine when you go overseas and stay there for some time, and when you come back to the home country, how do your relatives, friends welcome you? In the same way, after you die, when you go to your next life, the wholesome deeds will welcome you. Just like a person is returning from a foreign country, who has been living for a long period, and who is welcomed by his relatives and friends with a warm welcome by offering flowers, and they hug you and they welcome you warmly. So in the same way, dear children, when you do wholesome deeds like learning Dhamma, by practicing meditation, you will be welcomed in a good way. Now see, in this life, you were born in a good family. You were sent to a good school. I think you are able to speak 2-3 languages. You can communicate with a lot of people. You have the access to communicate with people. and you are sent to school in a safe way, and you are well protected. You don't suffer from food, you don't starve. So you are welcome by the power of the wholesome deeds that you have done in previous lives. But if you do not continue doing these wholesome deeds in life, what happens? Then, since now you are born in light, but then you will go from light to darkness. So your school teachers, the principals, the directors like to see you all going from light to light. From where to where? Light to light. So remember, now we are born in light, but some children, most of the people who are born in light, they go to dark. They go from light to dark. Why? Once they are born in light, they forget that. They forget that they were born in light by doing good deeds in life. It's not just having money you came to a good womb. It's not by showing money to your mother you came to your mother's womb. It's by having done wholesome deeds you went to a good mother's womb. So we should remember these things. We should understand these things. We should realize these things. So since we can't realize these things on our own, 3 people appear in this world for the benefit of us. How many people? 3 persons appear. 3 persons appear in this world for the benefit of many people, for the welfare of many beings. So today I am going to teach you a nice sutta taught by a Buddha. This is in Itivuttaka, in the section of Itivuttaka. Itivuttaka falls to the book of Khuddaka Nikaya. So, to the section of Khuddaka Nikaya, and Khuddaka Nikaya falls to the section of Sutta Pitaka. Sutta Pitaka falls to the Buddha's teachings. So now let's read, let's listen to the Buddha's words. This was said by the Lord. This was said by the Buddha. Because these 3 persons appearing in the world appear for the welfare of many people, for the happiness of many people. For the happiness of many people, out of compassion to the world. Then for the good, welfare and happiness of devas and humans. Now these 3 persons are appeared for the benefit of, for the happiness of devas and humans. Who are devas? Divine beings, Brahmas. Then what 3? Who are these 3 wonderful persons? These 3 persons are children. Buddha preaches here bhikkhus. Now Buddha is preaching this sermon to the Sangha, to the Buddha's ordained disciples. Now even you all are not ordained disciples, you should be happy that you are learning something that was taught to the Buddha's disciples, to the Buddha's ordained disciples. So Buddha preaches here bhikkhus. So this sermon was preached to the bhikkhus. So there are even Arahants might be seated in front of the Buddha. Non-returners might be seated in front of Arahant, in front of the Supreme Buddha. Then one-returners could be seated in front of the Buddha. Then stream entrants could be seated in front of the Buddha. Even the monks who were practicing the path could be seated in front of the Buddha. Now you should imagine that you are also seated in front of the Buddha. Now look at the Buddha statue, children. Look at the Buddha statue and think Buddha is in front of you. And think that he is out of compassion preaching the wonderful Dhamma for you. Don't think about this monk. Think about the Buddha. Think about the Buddha's teachings. Then think about those Arahants who sat in front of the Buddha. Think about the noble Sangha who sat in front of the Buddha. And now you have to think about Arahant Mahaninda, most venerable, the great, most compassionate, a compassionate teacher for us, a teacher who had enormous loving kindness, came to Sri Lanka and finally he passed away in Sri Lanka by passing the wonderful message of the Buddha. That venerable Arahant Mahaninda, that amazing, that precious, and the great Most Venerable Arahant Mahaninda visited Sri Lanka on a day like Poson, on a Poson day. So you should be very happy to be disciples of a great Buddha. So Buddha preaches, the first person, here bhikkhus, a Tathagata appears in the world, an Arahant, a Sammasam Buddha, possessing perfect knowledge and conduct, a sublime one who has followed the Noble Eightfold Path. Now these are the qualities of that first person. A world knower, a knower of the world. He knows about the world. Then an unsurpassed leader of persons to be tamed. That means this person he is great and he is chief and he is so capable of taming people without weapons, without harming others, just with the power of the Buddha's teachings, by telling the benefits, by telling the advantage of practicing Dhamma, by telling the disadvantages of practicing Dhamma, and by telling both. So, to meet such a great person is very rare in this world. That's why very few people develop wholesome deeds. Then, that first person has great qualities, and that great person is a teacher of devas and humans. An enlightened one, he is a Buddha and he is a Bhagava. He is a Buddha, he preaches the Dhamma. He does not hold anything back. That's why there is 84,000 sectors in the Buddha's teachings. Just in Sutta Pitaka, just in one section out of the 3 baskets of the Tripitaka, in one section there is 18,000 teachings. Just imagine how much in Code of Conduct, how much in Abhidhamma Pitaka. So then this great person, he is unique to have all these great qualities. So this first person, out of the 3 persons, now we are talking about 3 special persons who is appearing in the world for the benefit of many people. So I introduced the first person. The first person is a Tathagata. He is a Buddha. So, and he has great qualities, 9 great qualities. The first one is he is an Arahant. Arahant means that person is, his mind is like a he is like a lotus leaf that is untouched. That Buddha's mind, it's like, is it possible, children? Is it possible to keep a mustard seed on top of a needle? Is it possible to keep a mustard seed on top of a needle? No, impossible. In the same way, anger does not remain in the Buddha's mind. Just imagine when wind blows through a net, what happens? Does wind remain in that net? No. In the same way, in the Buddha's mind, anger, lust, delusion, sadness does not remain. Just imagine, once a snake has removed its outer skin, once a snake has shed off the outer skin, does he wear it again, the outer skin of that snake? No. In the same way, Buddha removed lust, anger and delusion forever. Have we developed such a mind? Think about ourselves now. No. For a small reason we get angry. If the mother and father is late to come to pick you up, we get sad. We panic. And if the teachers give homework continuously, we panic. And then if your parents wake you up early morning to go to Dhamma programs, to go to school, we get sad, we cry. So now just imagine, but for Buddha, people accused him. His mind was not affected. People stopped giving dana. When he visited some villages, some people decided not to give dana with the effect of Mara. But Buddha was happy with the concentration he had in his mind. So we went refuge to such a great teacher. We should remember that. who had a wonderful mind that was not affected by anger. And that great Buddha's mind was like a roof and that great teacher's mind was like a roof that was very well roofed. It wasn't leaking. Just imagine when a house is leaking, what happens? The house gets wet. When a roof is leaking, the house gets wet. You have to keep buckets and all these things to collect those water. But the Buddha's mind is not leaking with anger. So, our great person, even just imagine now, I just explained just one quality, the quality of an Arahant, the first quality that Buddha had. Just imagine if you were to explain all his qualities, would 40 minutes or 1 hour enough? No. That's why, children, we should learn Buddhism continuously. At least we should go to a Dhamma school. We should associate monks. At least once a week, we should listen to a Dhamma sermon. Don't let your parents to force you to listen to these Dhamma programs. Don't let your relatives to force you. You should have your own interest to develop wholesome deeds. Why? One day, children, after we grow older, when we were to start walking with a walking stick, will your parents be able to help you? Do you think your children will be able to help you? No. We will be all alone. And when we can't control our urine, when we can't control when we want to defecate, now we can control. But when we grow older, there is no controlling in defecating. So, the body that we have got is not made out of iron. This body is not made out of strong substance. This is very fragile. There is blood inside this. If your body is cut, with a short period, you can die. In a short period, you can die. This life is very impermanent. Buddha said, this life is like a dewdrop at the edge of a grass blade. Just imagine there's a small water drop hanging on the edge of a leaf. In the early morning, when the sun rises, that drop of water evaporates. And this life is like a piece of meat is thrown to a heated plate that is heated all day long. What happens to that piece of meat? That piece of meat burns very fast. Our life also burns very fast. Children, Buddha said, the Blessed One, and the second quality is the Buddha is a Sammasam Buddha. Now still we are talking about the first person. So the Blessed One, the second quality he has is, he is a Sammasam Buddha. So Sammasam Buddha means the Blessed One. He realized the Four Noble Truths about these three persons, about the truth of our life, the way to overcome anger, the way to overcome sadness, the way to overcome rebirth, everything he realized on his own. And we think that we are always born as humans in each and every life. But no, children. We are not always born as humans in each and every life. Now haven't you seen animals? Haven't you heard of ghosts who are scaring others, who are frightening others, who are threatening others, who are disturbing others? So Buddha said, now when we see dogs, we feel compassion might arise in your mind. You might have some compassion to give some food, but now see how dogs suffer. Not all the dogs are taken care very well in houses. There are stray dogs, there are street dogs. So when these dogs, cats, when they get wounded, there's no one to cure them. There's no one to put medicine again and again. They can't tell their problems. When they have a stomach ache, they can just be quiet and they can just bark. When they have pain in their back, they can't express that. We as human beings, we can tell our problem exactly what we have. But dogs do not have that ability. So when we see dogs, we just see the beauty of the dogs. When we see a dog, we see whether it's valuable or not, whether it's barking or not. But do we see the difficult side that dog is suffering? No. That was shown by a Buddha. And some children like to be born as birds, squirrels. Do you know birds, they don't have a proper nest. When it rains, they get wet. When they lay eggs, other birds come and eat their eggs. They fight. No place to stay. So don't just see the flying part of a bird and rejoice to be born as a bird. There is a very difficult side. There is no protection for animals. So Buddha showed the difficult side, the problems, and how much the animals in the animal world are suffering. So when Buddha said, we can also be born as animals, ghosts, fish. Now see the nature of the fish. People go fishing and the fish get trapped to the hooks, to the bait first. Then those needles, they go through the throat of the fish. It bleeds and they suffer. So when you saw fish tanks, when you saw beautiful fish, did you ever thought that after death that I can also lead to a life as a fish? I can also lead to the animal world? No. That is taught, that is shown by a Buddha. So Buddha escaped from all those worlds and he realized all these things without a guidance of a teacher. That's why we call him a Sammasam Buddha. Then Buddha is a Vijjacharana Sampanna. He had great virtue, great concentration. Then Buddha followed the Noble Eightfold Path. He is Sugata. Then Buddha realized all these worlds, human world, animal world, ghost world, Brahma worlds, and the hell, and he escaped from all those worlds. And after seeing all these things with a wide mind, with a broad mind, Buddha was able to tame people to do wholesome deeds, to avoid people doing bad things. And that's why we call him Anuttara Purisa Dhammasarathi. And then by taming other people, he was able to become a great person, a great teacher for gods and humans. When we say Buddhang Saranang Gacchami, we should remember all these things, children. At least little bit of these things. At least little bit of these things. We should be happy thinking that we are disciples of a Buddha. We have a great Dhamma to protect us. We have great Arahants. There are wonderful monks. There are wonderful monks to protect us, children. Even today you are learning this Dhamma because Arahant Mahaninda came to Sri Lanka and he ordained a lot of monks, and from that lineage even we were ordained. These things we meet as a very rare occurrence. Don't think that we will be able to learn Dhamma again and again and again in each and every life that we are born. This is a very extremely and very rare occurrence. So for the Poson full moon poya day, recollect these things. Be happy. Recollect the Buddha's teachings. At least on the Poson full moon poya day. Then Buddha, he became a great teacher for gods and humans. That's why we call him Satta Deva Manussana. Then Buddha preaches, the next quality is he is a Buddha. He taught this Dhamma without holding anything. He taught this Dhamma without holding anything, without charging anything. That's why we call him Buddha. And he became an incomparable. He was a unique person to have all these qualities. What he was? Tell me, children. He was a great and unique person to have all these qualities. Not everyone have all these qualities. Even Arahants did not have all these qualities. Even Arahant Sariputta did not have all these qualities. Even Arahant Moggallana did not have all these qualities. It was only one person, that is a Buddha, have all these great qualities. For such a great Buddha, we went refuge. We took refuge in such a great Buddha. So then Buddha preaches Buddha preaches, he teaches Dhamma. He teaches Dhamma that is good in the beginning, good in the middle, and good in the end. Now so far whatever we learned, was it bad in anywhere? No. Throughout the Dhamma sermon, I'm very much confident everything was proper and correct. And everything was useful. Why? These teachings are not my personal teachings, are said by a Buddha. And all these teachings will awaken our mind, will enlighten our minds to have a broad mind, to live with patience, to see good in others, to develop mindfulness, to be humble. Just imagine how nice would it be if you can associate a very humble person. Just imagine in the same way, if you also can be very humble, how much people would love you. If you can be obedient, just imagine the number of people would love you. It's just by developing good qualities. You could be last in the class. You could be the child who get the lowest marks. You could be the ugliest child. But if you are kind, if you are humble, even gods and brahmas, if you are attending to your mother and father, when your parents come home, if you were seated, if you stand from the seat, if you worship your mother and father, when they come home, if you can go and open the doors in the vehicle for the parents to come out. When the parents are ready to go out, if you can open the door for them to go, they'll be so happy, children. Start from small things. And then teachers, they are the ones who really guide your life. Just imagine, until now, if you did not have the protection from your teachers, what would you know in this world? Nothing. You are learning about the history of this world from your teachers. You are learning to heal your life when you have problems, when you have medical problems, that is also from your teachers. There are doctors because there were teachers in this world. There are engineers in this world with the help of teachers. Then there are nurses with the help of teachers. There are rulers in these countries with the help of teachers. You all are traveling in these roads because all those people, they had teachers. For many years we learn things from teachers, and finally we start earning money, we build houses, we buy cars, we buy clothes, we visit countries, all with having some knowledge. And that knowledge is helping us to earn money and also to be special and also to be treated by others. Who helps you? Teachers. So be happy that these wonderful teachings were taught by a Buddha. That is good in the beginning, good in the middle, good in the end. Then children, and the blessed ones, he preaches Dhamma, he teaches Dhamma with its correct meaning and wording, and he proclaims the holy life in its fulfillment and complete purity. This is Bhikkhus, the first person appearing in the world, who appears for the welfare of many people, for the happiness of many people, out of compassion to the world, for the good welfare and happiness of devas and humans. And now this is the first person. Who is the second person? Do you like to know? Okay. Next, Bhikkhus, now Buddha is telling. Now look at the Buddha. Look at the Buddha now. Now see what Buddha says. Next, Bhikkhus, there is a disciple of that teacher, an Arahant, one whose stains are destroyed. That means stains means the things that pollute your mind, the things that lead you to a bad world. Now here the taints are destroyed. The taints are destroyed. The holy life fulfilled. The holy life, the monk life, the celibacy life, the noble path is fulfilled. The path of Dhamma has been fulfilled. Who has done what had to be done? Who has done what had to be done? That means he has followed the noble eightfold path. Then has laid down the burden, attained the goal, destroyed the fetters of being, and is completely released through final knowledge. He has given up the final body. Now are we holding the final body? No. Is this the last time we are going to suffer because of this body? When this body gives aches? When these arms break? Can we bear? No. So we should have a strong mind, like the Arahants had, to face difficulties, to bear pain in life. So the second person is an Arahant, a disciple of a Buddha who preaches Dhamma for the benefit and welfare of many beings. So Arahant Mahaninda was a great person who came to Sri Lanka as Arahant and preached Dhamma for us. And those teachings, children, was Chula Hatti Padopama Sutta. He preached, one of the first suttas he preached. Then Samachitta Pariyaya Sutta, Peta Vattu and Vimanu Vattu. And then Satya Sangyutta, Devadota Sutta, Bala Pandita Sutta. So, and Asivisopama Sutta. These suttas were taught by Arahant Mahaninda. And when you compare the teachings of Arahant Mahaninda and to the Buddha's Sutta Pitaka, to the Sutta Pitaka, it's all the same suttas. There's no difference. So he taught the Buddha's words. Even today, if you all are sharing the Buddha's teachings, if you are sharing this Dhamma, you should tell the Buddha's word. You should tell the Buddha's words. So the second great person who appear in this world is an Arahant. It can be Arahant Sariputta, it can be Arahant Moggallana, it can be Arahant Mahakassapa, it can be Arahant Anuruddha. So there were many Arahants who lived in the past. Then Arahant Rahula, Arahant Kaccayana. So then the third person. Do you like to know about the third person? Now let's learn about the third person. Now look at the Buddha again. And next bhikkhus, there is a disciple of that teacher, a learner who is following the path. Now he is a learner who has learned much and is virtuous of conduct. He teaches Dhamma and he proclaims the noble life in its fulfillment and complete purity. This bhikkhus is the third person. Is he Arahant? No, he is not Arahant. So he is a person who has learned the Buddha's teachings and who follows the path and who teaches Dhamma. Children, for the benefit of us, for the welfare of many beings in this era, our most venerable teacher, Kiribadgura Jnanananda Mahathera, our Loku Swamin Wahanse, taught this Dhamma for us in a very simple way. So we should pay homage to our teacher as well, children. Because of Kiribadgura Jnanananda Mahathera, today I am preaching this Dhamma. Even you all are listening to this Dhamma sermon. He taught this Dhamma in a very simple way. So if we learn Dhamma without having gratitude, that will not help us in life. To really help us this Dhamma in a proper way, to attain Nibbana, we should learn Dhamma with gratitude. So first of all, we should have gratitude to the Buddha. That's the first person. Then the second person we should have gratitude is especially for the Sangha generally and for Arahant Mahaninda who came to Sri Lanka and gave the heritage, gave the gift of Dhamma for us. Now see, he gave up the kingship. Just imagine the things he gave up. Now y'all, what do we have? Just a small house and a car, and and could be a small business that your parents have. Just imagine how much we have to struggle to give up these things. But giving up a kingship over a huge country like India and becoming a monk, that's because once you become a monk, once you become an Arahant, all these problems, ruling countries, rebirth, old age, diseases, meeting with people that you do not like, then separating from loved ones, then fighting with people, quarreling with people, the responsibilities, unnecessary responsibilities, sickness, cancer, all these problems, suspecting others, then we get cornered by others. All these problems are solved once rebirth is settled, once rebirth is abandoned. So the third person we should pay homage is to our teacher, Most Venerable Kiribagura Jnanananda Mahathera. Because for us, whoever listening to this Dhamma program today, and for us, for me, it was our teacher who helped us to get ordination. It was our teacher, Lokuswamin Wahanse, who translated these teachings in a very simple way. And then especially he introduced the Buddha's teachings for us. So we should be very glad to have and to meet these three great persons in this world, and to be happy that we have at least heard about these great persons today on a day like Poson, and to hear these things on a day like Poson. And today, now you learn about a Buddha, then you learn about Arahant, and then you learn about a teacher. So you should be happy that we were able to learn these teachings. We were so glad, so fortunate to learn about these teachings. And today we learn about the Buddha's 9 qualities. First quality is he is an Arahant. He was free from lust, anger and delusion. And he became a Sammasam Buddha, and so on. And then the second person is an Arahant. So then the third person is a teacher who teaches Dhamma and who has well learned this Dhamma. So by learning this Dhamma today, by learning this Sutta today from Itivuttaka, may you have the opportunity. You call this Sutta Bahujanahita Sutta. Bahujanahita Sutta. That means for the welfare of many. The name of this Sutta is for the welfare of many. Wasn't it welfare for you all? Wasn't it for the benefit of you all you learned this Dhamma? It was for the benefit of you all. So by learning this Dhamma today, may we have the opportunity to spend a wonderful Poson day and a wonderful Poson full moon poya day, and to spend the Poson full moon poya day in a meaningful way. Light a lamp to the Buddha, light a lamp to the Dhamma, light a lamp to the Sangha, light a oil lamp to Arahant Mahaninda, and expect to protect the mother island, to this motherland, Sri Lanka, and have a wish and have a hope to protect the Buddha Sasana, and have a hope to attain the final bliss of Nibbana in this Gautama Buddha's dispensation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo Buddhaya.